Carina Press and HarlequinAudio present Viscounts Villainy by Allie Therin, performed by Froomkin. For those who inspire hope, especially when it's hard to find. Chapter 1. November 1925, New York. Angels were far more aggravating than devils. Wesley stood at the curb, arms folded, as he watched Sebastian's taxi finally make its way down Broadway. It was raining, the kind that bordered on frozen and fell in freezing, stinging droplets on one's neck. Around him, the industrial neighborhood was stained with soot, the pedestrians loud, and it smelled like car exhaust, and stale sweat had been layered onto the buildings like another coat of paint. He waited, impatiently, as Sebastian paid his fare and finally stepped out of the cab to join him. "You do realize," Wesley said as the taxi pulled back into the thick traffic, "that if someone had told me 2 months ago that in my own near future I would willingly traverse the icy pavement in Yonkers to rendezvous with Arthur's angry infant simply because Miss Robbins had requested it, I would have had them committed." "Hello to you too." Sebastian was adjusting his thick plaid scarf, which matched his brown coat and wool cap. The cold November evening was aggressively grey, from the concrete to the clouds to the patch of filthy snow persisting on a square of dead grass. Sebastian's warm olive skin, brown waves and gold-brown eyes shone bright as a new penny in a handful of dingy nickels. And if Wesley was thinking of nickels, then he'd been in America too damn long. And Rory is not an infant. He's 21. The only person who thinks 21 is grown is a 27-year-old who's gotten too big for his britches," Wesley said as they fell into step together, heading towards the river. "The actual adults like myself know better than to trust children playing at being grown-ups." "You are only 32. Nearly 33. Still 32, Sebastian interrupted. "And Rory might be 21, but he's brave and tough, and you admire him for it." "You're just being an asshole because you haven't had a smoke in 3 days and you're climbing the walls." Sebastian, of course, was far too kind to say something like that out loud, but Wesley knew who he was. Even now, his hand wanted to stray toward his jacket, where he still kept a pack of cheap cigarettes in his pocket. He forced it to stay at his side. "Regardless of what I think of Brodigan's relative maturity, or lack thereof, the actual issue here is that an English viscount is somehow bootlegging in Yonkers. Yonkers is nice." Sebastian gestured around them. "I can hear the river, and see a lady walking a cute dog, and smell a bakery." Bloody typical. Where Wesley went looking for thorns, Sebastian gave his attention to the roses. But we're not here for bakeries, are we? "Rory can see the history of the liquor, but he needs someone to keep watch while he scries," Sebastian said as they crossed the street. "Arthur is with his family, and Zhang is with Jed at the hospital with Alistair." Alistair Finley, a paranormal who had previously been able to hear magic, and had nearly murdered a mansion of New York's elite at a Halloween masquerade. October had been an entire mess. Discovering Wesley's own former commanding officer and a baronet he knew from London had been involved in a plot attempting to get rid of magic. Now, Major Langford and Sir Ellery were both dead, and Alistair had been unconscious in a mental hospital since then. "Surely the time someone needed to deal with Alistair was 3 weeks ago," Wesley said, "when he helped kidnap all of us and was willing to murder his way through an entire party to unlock the Pomander relic." "Yes, but we think he might not have any magic anymore," Sebastian said. It hung between them for just a hair longer than it should have, because the reason Alistair no longer had magic was because Sebastian no longer had magic. Because Alistair had been swept along with it when Sebastian had sacrificed every bit of magic he had to destroy the Pomander relic that would have killed Wesley. Sebastian had said many times now that he believed his magic was never coming back.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?